Oh, you're on mute, Tina.
Lisa, I just hit the record button. So we're a few minutes into the meeting. Okay, folks, I am Tina Fernandez-Steckler. I'm the Executive Director at HERS Breast Cancer Foundation. Our mission is to support all individuals healing from breast cancer by providing post-surgical products and services, regardless of financial status. We are at Washington Hospital West. We are up in San Leandro. That's a partnership with Kaiser Permanente, and we have just opened a new store in partnership with, well, we're members of the Tri-Valley Nonprofit Alliance's Common Point Nonprofit Hub, Nonprofit Center. So that's what we do. Tracy?
Hi, I'm Tracy Sarge. I am the Executive Director of Room Redux Bay Area Chapter. We do room transformations for children that have been physically or sexually abused, whether they're in their own home or in another placement.
Welcome. How about Sherry, Vera, and Taz?
Hi, Sherry Plaza. I'm kind of like Lisa, not directly connected to a nonprofit now, although I do volunteer with Life Elder Care, but have worked in outreach and fundraising development for both Life Elder Care and SAVE, and been on the board for many years until recently at Starstruck Theater. And now I'm going to be helping Lisa, Tina, and Kathy with some of the planning and organizing around the 4th of July event.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Vera Kazak. I'm the program manager at Music for Minus 2. We keep music in the schools and in children's lives since 1988. And I'm here with Carol, who's the executive director.
Welcome. Taz and then Ruth.
Hello, everyone. I'm Taz Gill. I'm the co-founder of Angel Aid. And this is my co-founder, Kamal.
Hi, we're with Angel Aid, and we are trying to come up with a program to help prevent child abuse and neglect.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Ruth and then Linda.
Okay, I'm Ruth Narayan with the League of Women Voters, and I just have to say, when I used to work, I was a public health nurse with the city of Fremont, and Tina, one of the most positive experiences I ever had when I was working was taking one of my clients to the HERS Center at Washington Hospital and fitting her with the bra, and nothing could have made her happier. So I just wanted to let you know that.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I'm gonna let our team know that tomorrow. Thank you, Ruth.
Oh, me. I'm Linda Giuliani, and I am not an executive director of anything, but I am a board member on Fremont Education Foundation. I do volunteer work for Spectrum Community Services. I'm a member of Fremont for Everyone, Tri-City Brady, League of Women Voters, and about 10 PTAs in Fremont and Alameda.
Wow. Welcome. How about Tony and then Carol?
I'm Tony Schillen, and I lead the Tri-City Alameda County chapter of Brady United Against Gun Violence, and I also serve on the California Brady's executive committee for that group. And I wish I weren't so busy right now. And I have to give a little blurb here. If you are not on my email list, that's all that's involved in being a member. Please let me know, and I'd be happy to add you, because we're asking people to take certain actions right now, contacting various people. So it's tricitybrady@gmail.com. But anyway, thank you.
Welcome, Tony. Carol.
Yes, thank you. We just had our Music for Minors 2 Got Talent event, our virtual one that we had our very first time doing that. It was wonderful. We had very excited students with that, but we're so grateful to be part of the Tri-City Nonprofit Coalition, mainly because with the school closures and COVID and everything, we were serving 5,000 children before it hit. We're down to maybe like 1,600, and there's so many children that need music. So we value this opportunity to have a booth in person and to try to recruit new volunteers, because we train them every year, every fall for free. And that's how the music gets to the children. So thank you for all the help you've given us so far. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Let's see, Nikki, did you want to say anything else? And then also, we heard a little bit from Kayla. Did you, either of you want to say anything else?
Not much more. I'll keep it brief. I recently joined the city of Fremont back in the end of March, so I'm very much a green bean here. Before that, I come from Milpitas and from San Jose, where I was born and raised. And Fremont so far has been very great to work in. I'm on the Office of Economic Development with Donovan, like Kathy had mentioned before. So really, we help businesses to navigate kind of anything government related, whether it's permits or financial assistance or anything like that. So consider me and the whole ED team a resource to help get your business off the ground and keep it successful. And Kathy, would now be a good time for me to get into Better Block? I have a feeling maybe later. Can I make a short announcement on that later?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Later? Okay.
That'd be great. Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you. Kayla, anything else that you wanted to let us know about yourself, or did you do it? Oh, you're on mute.
I think I covered everything before, so thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, great. Well, you can see we have quite a variety of nonprofits in the house here, and I will go back to sharing my screen. And what we're trying to accomplish tonight is we want to tell you what's in place already, what's kind of in place, and then get your feedback on things, because this is how the Tri-City Nonprofit Coalition, from the beginning of our whole idea, was that we don't drive this, we all drive this, we all make this group, we all help with achievement, and we all have vision. And we're so excited because this 4th of July thing is going to be our first live event, 1. 2, we hope that it's going to be our annual signature event. So so glad that you are here to help us kind of build it. So with the screen sharing, we've welcomed and introductions and kind of what we have in place right now, background in the works, that it is our first signature live event. The event actually will be 11:30 to 1:30 at the Fremont Downtown Event Center, Plaza. So it will be outside. Also, it's going to, we met with the city last week or a couple days ago, time flies. And it is actually going to be deemed as a special event application versus just applying as a rental for the plaza. And because what differentiates that is we are inviting the public. If it were just a private party, then we would just be renting the plaza. So this is going to be kind of aligned along the way Street Eats is. Anybody can really stop in and come by, and that's what we want. So I'll be working on that. We have current sponsors right now, presenting sponsors, Alameda County Supervisor David Halbert. And that's very good to hear, because when Lisa and I first met him and he said he supported nonprofits, we said, well, if you don't hold true to your word, we'll be talking. And he is holding true to his word. He thinks that nonprofits get things done that government can't get done. And so he really values nonprofits. So I'm really glad to see that he's stepped up to be a sponsor. Community sponsors, the Fremont Chamber of Commerce. Media sponsors, the Tri-City Voice. Right now, Sherry, we met with Sherry a couple days ago, and she's working on a simple registration / application for either if you want to be a booth entry or if you want to entertain. Entertainment, and I think I'll get to that later. We do have, we're probably pretty full with entertainment, but we can review that later. The registration form will be available for all of you on June 6th. The deadline to register will be June 15th. I don't expect anybody will be denied, but if we have any questions or concerns, of course, the core group will contact you. Registration fee will include canopies, tables, and chairs. And the reason we thought that it will cost a little bit more with the rental. However, we thought it's going to be a lot easier for all of us if we're not schlepping canopies there and tables and chairs. The city puts it up for us, and then we all kind of look uniform. You can bring your banners, you can bring whatever things that you have that are your branding. But we haven't nailed down a registration fee. We'll talk about that later. We will work on a flyer for marketing that all of us can share so that we're all saying the same thing and we're all marketing the same thing. Then we'll work on an article for the Tri-City Voice. The submission deadline for that will be June 28th. And then entertainment, oh, see, I do have it on here. So far we're working with Radio Murchie. They may serve as our MC for the event and also play music. Starstruck is going to do, and I probably spelled it all wrong, they'll do a little sneak peek of their summer production of Les Mis. Music for Minors is going to do a little something. I know that one of their stars, Bella, is going to do something, and I don't know if we're going to have other entertainment from Music for Minors. Are we going to have another little song or something, Carol?
Yeah, I would like to share a song. Yeah, at the
Okay.
beginning of the introduction. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Kathy, I got the registration deadline, but what did you say? What's the deadline on the 28th for what?
The 28th, it just is an internal one. That's when we're going to submit an article for the Tri-City Voice.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and we will send reminders out. We will definitely send, you know, our little MailChimp with these reminders out, especially for deadlines, especially for applying that, because that's your big interest. So anyway, Music for Minors too. Loney, they're performing, they're doing Rent this summer. I've made an initial contact, but not confirmed that they'll do a little preview for us. And then Dream Achievers would like to play a few songs for us as well.
I think the key on the deadlines is that groups who want to have their name in our advertising need to, that's what the early registration is about, because we want to be able to put this poster together with all the names of, you know, who's going to be there. So that's the 6/15 deadline. And then the Tri-City Voices, we just have to have stuff to them early to have an article before the 4th of July.
Absolutely. So that's the background of where we are up to this point. So Tina, do you want to take them into the next piece of what we need to kind of talk about tonight? Mute.
So we do need to make some decisions about the registration fee for nonprofits to participate, what types of booth activities, and then as Kathy mentioned just a few minutes ago, being on the same page as far as our how we're going to promote it. As far as the last item I just mentioned, my suggestion is that we have one flyer with all of our logos on it. I can create, I don't mind doing it, I can create a QR code which would go to our the Tri-City Nonprofit Coalition event page, so people could get more information about it. Kathy, where are we? We can rent canopies through the city, through the event center, and tables and chairs as well. Is that correct?
Correct. And so we were kind of hoping, I think, to do kind of a really low registration fee this year because it's our first time and we want people to be there. We want this to be successful. So since we have a sponsor, we can maybe kind of help mitigate those costs. So that's where we need your input. What would be a reasonable registration fee that would make you go, oh yeah, I'm going to be there and I'm going to show up that morning?
Kathy, did you say that if we rent the canopies and so on from the city, they will actually set them up? So, yep. Oh, that's wonderful.
I know, right?
That's worth a lot. I have no money, but.
Right. That's what we're thinking. And also, you know, since coming in after the parade, what will happen is as we come in, like as you come in with your tubs of supplies or whatever you're going to bring, oh, I got to plug my laptop in. As we bring our supplies in, we'll be able to get in behind the event center because the parade comes Paseo to Capitol. And so then what we'll do is we'll come in behind the event center to bring our supplies in, but we not shopping those canopies would be nice. So I'm going to go grab my charger cable, and why don't you guys talk about registration fee?
Right. Okay. So Lisa, Kathy and I had discussed, tossed around the amount of $25, I believe, Lisa, per.
No, I think we said 35.
35.
And that would cover, because we have to pay to rent the facility. We pay for the canopies, tables, chairs. We have to pay a little bit of a fee for staff there because they keep the building open with the bathrooms. That's kind of an important factor, right? So we have a bunch of expenses, and you know, as Kathy said, we do have some financial sponsorship, which is helpful, but we need to have people have buy-in, right? You have to make a commitment, even if it's a small amount.
Right.
Just because history of events shows that if it's free, people can bail at the last minute and whatever. So, we're asking you to make a commitment because we want this to be a successful event. So I think we had talked about $35. And I know the history that we've seen with other events is that the number is higher than that.
Right. So I can chime in and just share that. And as long as I'm at it, I'm going to encourage you all to mark your calendars. Hers does our annual walk, run, yoga fundraiser at Quarry Lakes. It's always the last Saturday of September. So this year it's September 24th. We have a community expo that is open to nonprofits and local businesses alike. The business fee for a 6-foot table, 2 chairs, lunch, and a canopy is $150. For nonprofits, it's $85. And, that is an event that attracts, hundreds of people. It's a major event, granted, but truly by comparison, $35 is, I think, really reasonable. And then part of the issue too is, and, I hate to say it's a little bit of trust. I have given at least twice, I've given a couple different nonprofits a break where I charge them just a fraction of the $85 because I was trying to work with them in their budget. And then at the last minute, they either canceled or just didn't show. So, it's a little bit of just, what do you call it? Skin in the game. Like a lot of guys tend to say that. I don't know how I feel about that phrase, but there must be something better than that that would appeal to a broader range of people. But anyway, that's the only one I can think of right now. Skin in the game is, if you write that $35 check, you're making a commitment, and hopefully you'll show up. And I think it'll just really help make the event successful for everyone. As Lisa mentioned, that we do have overhead as far as renting the facility. And
I have a question. When people pay you for a booth fee, is that tax deductible because you're a nonprofit?
God, that's a good question. There's that whole thing where because it's not like a real donation, they're getting something for it. There's a fair market value on, I think so a portion of it could be like, we could put a value on the space, and then the lunch and the table and the 2 chairs and the canopy, I guess. And then the rest of it would maybe be tax deductible. Lisa, you just asked a question no one has ever asked me.
And so I see Linda has a hand up, and then Tracy and Carol. So how about Linda, Tracy, and Carol?
So like I said, I'm not in charge of anything. So I think $35 is a bargain. I was going to say $50. This is a cost of doing business for all the nonprofits. And I think they're getting exposure and contact with people throughout the city that they might not ever have this any other way besides this. So I would say say 50. And then if somebody tells you that's not enough, then say, oh, well, for you, it'll be 35.
I was going to say, I think 35 sounds very reasonable. As long as you think it would cover does it cover everything? I mean, we don't want you to end up in the hole.
Right.
And I only say that because I always say my funds are my wallet, but I could beg some people.
This is part of doing business for us as well, right? Like, we have to put some investment into this. This is our event. We do have a sponsor, so that helps with some of it. But this is our first time out, and we want to see how this goes. And we're kind of cost sharing between the nonprofits. And
are we looking for more sponsors?
Sure. We're not going to. We are a 501c3, so anybody who wants to sponsor us, and like Tri-City Voice, honestly, they are very generous. They let us put articles and ads about our events and stuff. We treat that as a form of sponsorship in kind. But if people want to donate money to help us with our expenses, we're not going to say no.
No, I just meant, I didn't know if you were seeking them like David Halbert. I mean, somebody else in that kind of a position might be willing to, donate. So,
well, the advantage of Supervisor Halbert is we can drop his name when we talk to other politicians.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
That being said, Tony, if you know of anyone who is a business person, if you know of anyone, who would want to sponsor our event, please connect us.
So are those the two only sponsors we have then, the supervisor and
The Fremont Chamber.
city? Oh, and Fremont Chamber. Okay.
Oh, I didn't mention up here. I didn't mention in the background, and I apologize. I've reached out to the Food Truck Mafia to have some food trucks there and Das Brew to be there as well, so that people can come and they can have food and something. So there will be that always adds to the party flavor.
And I hate to even mention it because they are already so very generous with our city, but that is Fremont Bank always sponsors everything. Has anybody asked them? Just wondering.
That crossed my mind. They don't fund parades, but they might donate to something like this.
I don't know.
I'll reach out to Julie Zhu.
Okay.
The other thing, since you mentioned the food trucks, we can rent from the event center, like little tables, either those kind of tall cocktail party tables or little ones that people can sit at, so that people feel like it's a place they can, hang out for a little bit. And there'll be food, so you need a place to sit.
I think the food aspect's great, because I know we go to the parade and it's like Kathy said, and I'm sorry I missed the last meeting, but I watched it. But I love the idea that you can go to the parade and then go somewhere after. I mean, I know a lot of us have events on the 4th, but this is nice because it's just early in the day. And then to be able to, kind of go do something after, because we used to just do the parade and then just leave and then do whatever. So I like it. And I just want to chip in and say, as kind of a newer nonprofit, we don't have a huge budget, but I think that's super reasonable. Like I would have expected it to be more than that. So I think that's very reasonable.
Maybe what we should consider is doing a sliding scale. That's something, I don't know, Lisa, Kathy, what you think about that, but maybe a minimum buy-in of 35, and if nonprofits can afford more, put a cap on it.
Yeah, I think with our first year, I think 35, my biggest thing would be that maybe writing in, Sherry, to the application, writing in something that is kind of like an agreement saying, I'm committed to showing up that day, because to me, that would be the worst, that we have, 15 nonprofits sign up and 5 show up. That would be like a horrible thing for the community. So that's my bigger concern right now. And if we get our foot in the door, try it out for $35. And then next year, if we realize that we don't have the sponsorship like we had, or we want to do something else, we want to do grants, we could do, eat all of the above. And so maybe we start mild this year, and then we have our after event debrief. Carol?
Yeah, I think the 35 is really appropriate. You know why? It's only 2 hours. A lot of times when you have a booth at an event, it's an all-day thing. Or look at the festival, or Newark days, 4 hours. So is there a reason why it's just the 2 hours? But maybe that's better. And also I want to say it's perfect because it's the lunch hours. So that's why you'd get the people getting the food. That would be the draw, because they're hungry. Just as long as they don't eat the whole time and they come around for the food.
I wondered if we could be a little longer. It's 3 hours. Would that cost more? Would that cost a lot more? And
yeah, I think well, and it'll be a special event, so it'll be different. However, the outdoor plaza, this is how the rates go. It is a 3-hour minimum. So that's why the 3 hours stuck in our head, because we figured a half hour to set up, 2 hours for the event, half hour to clean up. So 3-hour minimum. And then it would be on a Monday. It would be $78 for nonprofits, is $78 an hour. So that's not, that's not
holiday rate. We have to be the holiday rate, not Monday rate.
Oh, it'd be $108. Yeah, $108 an hour. So it's really not that much. We were wondering, and maybe that's where we can weigh in here today as well. That's what we kind of thought on our own. We don't want to keep people too long, but do we need a little bit more time to get the bang for our buck?
Right. But what is the time again? Now, maybe I'm confused. 11:30 to 1:30 is just 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
She's allowing for the setup and the shutdown. So half an hour for setup and half an hour for cleanup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that-
I actually like the shorter period. Sorry, Lisa. I actually kind of liked it just because it is the 4th of July. We tend to do things with friends and family. And I feel like if you make it longer, then not that you won't have people show up, but that it will be more difficult for the nonprofits who, let's be honest, how many of us actually take a break on any given day? So the 4th of July is actually a day that we tend to take a break. And I'm not even we come to the parade and then we usually have plans and go do something somewhere else, but.
That was Tina's take on it. She go, let's get in, let's do what we're gonna do, let's have some fun and let's go.
I think I would also rather err on this side of, just a few minutes too short and leave people wanting more. Like, well,
Oh, true.
like we got a lot of stuff done in 2 hours, off to the next party. And then, if the feedback is we really need to do longer time, we'll do it next year.
What time do they expect the parade to end?
It starts at 10. By the time they start with the destaging, it's only a mile long. It's probably the first one hits at 11:30 is probably when it kind of wraps up. And we didn't really want to have a gap in between because we want, when we had our little internal meeting, we kind of said, wouldn't it be fun if we had like a little street sweeper at the end going, follow me to the after parade party.
Yeah, I'll go along with whatever you decide, but for me, it just seems a bit short. I'm just concerned about by the time people get there and if they get something to eat. And, you just kind of make it worth the time that you've, to gather all these things you're bringing and so on. I don't know.
I see what you're saying too.
Else, maybe 3 hours or even 2.5. I don't know.
Maybe go till 2, maybe.
Oh, I don't know, but whatever, this kind of an event is new for me. So whatever you think.
Well, it seems
Do you
like,
think?
oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm
Go ahead,
having
Tracy.
trouble finding the raise my hand thing on this when it's minimized like this. I was thinking too, because we do have the setup and cleanup period, like you could have people there at the beginning, right? So we could have people there for 3 hours. If you have someone else that's there and has it set up and ready to go, we could be there for the entire 3-hour period, right?
And the trucks can be there during setup and cleanup.
And there's people that wander over. I know we always were at the beginning of the parade. So there's people that will probably start wandering over there soon after, right? Once it starts, it only takes a short while to go through. So I have a feeling people will head over there. So if you're set up and ready to go, there'll be people there right at the beginning.
I think so.
But that does make sense. I understand. I didn't think about that, Tony, about people eating and then wandering around.
I thought, it would be nice to have the time, but whatever.
One thing we did talk about was that our like scheduled programs, because we're speakers and the music and everything would not start until 12. So we don't want people to get there a little bit late and have missed part of the presentations, whatever. So the entertainment won't start until 12. Well, the DJ will be there with music. The performances won't be until 12 at least.
Right.
Do other people have feelings about whether 1:30 or 2 would be best?
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, I was wondering if kind of like it could be a little bit flexible since, because we don't know exactly when the parade is going to end. And so I think kind of what I think Tracy was just saying, or Lisa, about like the setup time and the cleanup time. If you see that everybody's leaving, then you start cleaning up. And if you see that the place is still crowded and people are wandering around, like nobody's going to like close up their booth, right? Because they have like 10 people waiting to talk to them. So maybe,
the time, then we are going to have to leave, right?
I think the issue is that the staff from the event center comes to take down the tents and everything. And so, we've made a commitment to them on a schedule. And if we have to stay and pay an extra hour, I don't care about paying an extra hour, but these people may have made other plans, right? They're working.
Yeah.
And we just need to tell them now versus later. So whatever we decide, so we can't be necessarily flexible in that respect. We can be flexible with us, but we need to tell them we need you for 3 hours, 4 hours, however many hours we need them, because they have to have staff there to do what they need to do.
And we're making a commitment to them. We're saying it's going to end at 1:30, and so they can start, it's going to be hard to keep going if your booth's being taken down.
So maybe that's where consider, like Tony was saying, if we consider just adding an extra hour on, then if people leave.
Somebody said even a half an hour, like to
yeah,
that sounds.
I'm just thinking then maybe we pay $40 instead of 35 or whatever, and we stay an extra hour, then people can have the option if their booth isn't busy and they're ready to go, you know, you can start packing up, and if not, then you can stay. I don't know. I've never done this before.
Neither have you. So, hey.
What about a half an hour though? That would kind of be a compromise between one and the
I
other.
kind of like, I kind of really like that.
Yeah, we shut down earlier. I mean, if we had another half an hour and we saw people are leaving or whatever, it'd be easier to shut down earlier than to.
And I think that would probably be beneficial for the food trucks too. You know, considering it for them, that probably be more beneficial for them. So if we say the event ends at 2,
Mhm.
what do you got, Matt? What do you think?
Because honestly, like at the street eats, sometimes like those truck lines get really long. And so if people are standing in truck lines, then that's times that they're not going to be playing games or walking around or visiting tables.
Yep.
How many food trucks will there be?
I've asked for 3 and I haven't talked with her. We were going to talk later this week. And so I'm going to talk with her later this week to see if, yeah, hopefully there's interest. Hopefully we have food trucks because we need food trucks.
And I guess also the price depends on how many nonprofits you've got signed up for this as well. You know, if you've only got a few, then I guess you have to charge more.
I imagine there are a lot of
have a good turnout
on that day too. So there might be other places.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in contact with them for a while now, for you know, over a month. So they know we've been on their radar. So hopefully that's good. Okay, so we're looking at so far 35. We're looking at possibly time frame of 11:30 to 2 for the actual event.
Kathy, did someone from Guide Dogs contact you?
Pardon?
Someone from Guide Dogs for the Blind contact you?
Nope.
No, okay.
Nope. That'd be great.
That would be a great addition.
Wow. That'd be awesome.
One thing I just wanted to mention, I'm really hoping that if we do go till 2, that everyone can commit to staying until 2 and then breaking down. I know that I've been at events where that really hasn't been enforced, you know, keeping your booth open and ready. And it's really disheartening to have someone next to you breaking down early. And then suddenly you've got like blank spots around you, you know, and you're sitting there just kind of like feeling sad. So yeah, I think if everyone signs up, you know, whatever is the end time, just commit to staying till that, and then we all break down together. I think that's ideal for everybody.
Which that kind of leads into the next piece of having some activities, which kind of what Street Eats does is the nonprofit booths usually have to have something for you to present while you're talking to the parents. The kids can be entertained. So you maybe have one person at your booth talking with the adult, and then you have the other person engaging with the kids, whether it's a game or a giveaway. And then they did tell us that they wanted the booths to be on the sidewalk versus the chairs in the booths on the grass, tearing up the grass, which kind of makes sense because if you do that time and time again, the grass is going to be destroyed. I don't really know if that means then, you know, behind us, we can have games on the grass. I would think we can. But I think just the booth and the chairs and the tables, they don't want on the grass.
The other thing that the city mentioned is that you're not allowed to give away food in these booths. So like you can't have candy as your giveaway or anything like that, just as a warning.
Good one. And then, so booth activities, is there any more talk about that? Anybody got wondering about that, or do you have a great idea about that, Vera?
The last time someone was saying something about a passport, that they go to the different booths, they get a stamp or something. Are we doing that or not?
I love that idea. And I saw that on the, what is it? Oriental Trading? They have a little notebook that says on the front passport. And you open it, it's got blank pages. And I went, oh my gosh.
Maybe we could even do something where if someone like gets so many of their passports stamped or something like that, they could get entered into a drawing. Like maybe we could get somebody to donate something for a drawing or something. Just a thought. To encourage them to visit more spots.
Maybe some of the nonprofits could donate something. I'm sure we could find something, Carol, in we could donate some small prize.
or maybe one of the sponsors, you know.
Awesome. I love that idea.
We've done that too, even if it's just like, you know, I've done small baskets, like with some donated things, beauty items and whatnot, but I've seen booths that just have a, you know, a pound of coffee and a, you know, a $10 gift card for Starbucks or something, and that'll draw people. People love the chance to win something.
Yes.
We should say something like we're going to have the drawing at, make it up, 1:30, right? Sometime, you know, right before the end, and then decide whether the person has to be there.
Yes, they should be there. So encourage them to stay and look around.
Oh, that is wonderful. And then, you know, what we could do is we could support our local businesses. And then we could have people like Fremont Flowers, Suju's Coffee, and for lack of Rita's is another one who likes to do things, right? And they could be the one who give us the little coupons. McDonald's a lot of times,
Chick-fil-A will give you.
And we could have those there already, and that would be actually supporting local business with nonprofits. That's a good package.
If I could chime in really quick on the local business part, we've launched a Shop Local campaign called Gift Fremont, and it's a digital shopping card, gift card. You buy one and you can redeem it at any of the participating stores. So there's a good number of businesses represented all throughout Fremont, and I think for shopping local, it's kind of a handy thing to give out.
Yeah,
I thought about that, Nikki.
I was thinking about bags. I mean, I know when you go to Earthy or something, some of the groups give out like those shopping bags and things. We wouldn't need anything that big. But if we're all giving away little items, even if we got some, you know, lunch bags, a stamp, or if I know I have a great bag that I got somewhere that says Shop Fremont. If we had something so that if people are carrying a lot of items, I don't know if that's something we
Yeah, they
need.
do that at the Art and Wine Festival a lot.
And I have to say, I'm feeling a little uncomfortable that maybe I didn't want to talk everybody into the 2:00 time. So could we have a raise of hands? If people would rather do 1:30, my insecurities are showing up here.
Oh,
I think that was a good point, though. I think that was a thoughtful comment, because you're right. Like, you just think of the time period and everybody being able to walk around, but if they're in line for food and they're doing other things.
That would be annoying. You're in line for food and then you're done and the booth is closing.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
It does kind of make sense and figure, even if it's done by 2, we're out of there by 2:30, you still have a good chunk of your day.
Go home and collapse, probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
After marching in the parade and then,
Yeah, we'll have to be home just in time to listen to all the fireworks go off.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So the drawings could be, and Nikki, remind me, the Gift Fremont is really, really cool, because if you do the one level, you get extra, and there's 2 different levels. Is it 20 or 25 and you get extra $5?
That's right. You buy $20, you get an extra 5. Buy 40, you get an extra 15.
Right. And so that benefits not only you, the consumer, that benefits the business as well. And so Fremont Flowers is on there, El Patio, a bunch of them are on there, but we have
anything there. Are you talking about selling this at the event?
No, this would be the drawing. If you fill your passport, this would be what you would get.
Oh,
I think if we get more than one prize, like maybe that's a big prize, and $5, you know, gift card at Starbucks or wherever local, maybe not Starbucks. How about Suju's? But small things we can give away a bunch of, right? Everybody loves winning even a small thing, and then have one or 2 bigger ones.
That sounds good.
Ruth, you have your hand up.
So if we have if someone designs a passport and they go around to the booths to get stamped, does that mean we have to have a stamp with our logo on it, or we can just use any kind of what's your idea on that?
Market.
Yeah, anything, whatever you could have a star, you could have a sun, you could have.
And then just initial it if that's the League of Women Voters or whatever your group is.
Yeah, I've just initialed. Yeah, when I've done it in the past.
Answer stickers. Somebody mentioned stickers last
time. Because you can buy, you know, a thing of 1,000 little tiny stickers for a couple of dollars, right? So that would be easier.
Yeah, I mean, we have plenty of stickers, but I mean, I have lots of stickers, but they don't say League of Women Voters on them. Like,
Wouldn't have to. No.
okay,
I think we've done what Tina was saying too, where we just have initialed.
yeah, yeah.
We've had to do it for different, you just put the initials, like we'd put RR for room redux and initial it or whatever.
Yeah,
I just make sure that was okay.
Yeah. I think that the more flexible we are, the better for the nonprofits. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so
doing the letters or the acronym or whatever of the organization, you know, bring like a bright Sharpie or we'll bring Sharpies or whatever. And then we know, then you know exactly who you saw and it's a reminder.
Yeah.
That's fine.
so then we need to have like a booth for people to drop off or show their passport and get a raffle ticket.
Yep.
We have a table, the Tri-City, the TCNPC table, huh?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm a retired teacher. I could probably give you all a stamp. Have your own stamp. I still have them all because my grandkids are.
I should have figured that out, Tony.
I love it. Yeah.
Nikki, could the city of Fremont provide some bags for the people to put their stuff in as they go around the different booths?
Between maybe Nikki, you could check and see if they have any stash. We could check and see if the chamber has any stash like that.
If not, it'd be easy to buy lunch bags and just stamp something on them. See, there's the elementary teacher going.
Yeah, we just recently got a request to assemble a bunch of branded bags for kids as they go home for the summer. So I already kind of have an open inquiry on that. So let me check.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
then the city could be our goodie bag sponsor.
Yeah.
The goodie bag sponsor.
Actually, I do know that there's kind of a stash of leftover bags. They're co-branded, not just with the city of Fremont, but co-branded with the census effort. So it's a lot of bags that are kind of past, you know, the event, and there's really nothing that they're going to be used for. I don't know if you'd be open to having a census co-branded bag. I know it's kind of might be out of left field, but we have a bunch of them apparently.
It's free, correct?
The
answer is yes.
I thought it's free.
Okay.
Free. We love it.
Free, which it is. We're being environmentally friendly and we're recycling and reusing.
Exactly.
I will get a bunch of markers and draw our logo.
I know if I was more proficient on my silhouette machine, I would offer to make the logos, but I'm not very good at it. So
I have a Cricut. Maybe we can do that.
I was going to say, if we have people that can do it on a Cricut or a silhouette, we can probably whip up some logos.
Or Tina, how many of those stickers do we have?
Yeah, I don't have that many actually. Where are they?
Because we have these stickers that Tina made that are Tri-City Nonprofit Coalition.
Yeah. This should be a benefit for every nonprofit that comes. They get a sticker for their car. Yeah, we have these made up. They're quite nice. Can you see them? Yeah. You're a nonprofit champion.
But we could easily, we could just print stickers. I mean, I could print them on my computer, buy the stickers at Staples, and then we just stick them on the bag.
Yeah.
Or cover.
Lisa, I didn't know you had a Cricut. We need to talk offline.
I need lessons. If anyone wants to give lessons, I'm here. I'm all here for it.
Man, so last year I got into ice tie-dye. It's this technique where you tie-dye, but you pack ice on like a cotton t-shirt, for example, that you've soaked in soda ash, and you choose your colors, you sprinkle on the dry powder on top of the ice and give it 24 hours, and as it melts, it creates this cool pattern. So I was going to do some for our store to sell. Actually, I was going to make t-shirts and sweatshirts and donate them, but I wanted to do an iron-on logo. Of course, they're going to be pink for breast cancer. So I thought I was going to try to talk to someone with a Cricut, and I think I just found her.
Somebody asked a question about whether we're allowed to sell stuff in the booths.
No, I mentioned that we're not. I remember we were told that we cannot, you said you can have a donation thing out.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can't
there's a comment
actually.
that says, are we allowed to sell things? And I think the
I
answer
think that was Taz.
They said no,
No.
right.
Yeah, maybe we should double check with the city and see what their
We can't, it's
policy
street
is.
eats, it's street eats, you can't sell stuff.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
suspect
no,
the same.
Actually, at Street Eats, you can. You have to acquire a vendor permit and it's like $5
Mm.
Oh,
through the city. The city offers, it's like a temporary vendor permit, I think, but I don't know. I don't know if that depends on if you have a business license to sell already or not. I think if you don't, my understanding was if you don't have a license, you can acquire a vendor permit. We
Last
did that
meeting,
one time.
somebody said, I don't know if it was Kathy or Lisa said that we could not. So I just figured, we're just gonna have little giveaways. And if you have a donation thing out there and people want to give you something.
Right.
I mean, to me, the main purpose of this is more about publicity than anything. So I don't really care.
And you can always say,
you'd be surprised though. I mean, I've done a lot of outreach over the years and people will often come up and they'll say, here's a $20 bill. I just want to donate, or how do I donate? So I would say have some type of sign where it has like a QR code that will go to your website. Maybe even be prepared, have like the Venmo app already installed on your phone, except you can accept a donation that way. Yeah, you don't want to leave money on the table.
Wow.
Ever.
That's why
I always have a box too. It's just like, and a little discreet sign, but you'd be surprised.
We've done items too that instead of selling, we've just said, if with a $10 donation, you receive this item.
There, that's lovely too.
That kind of avoids the selling.
Is that okay though?
and if you do that, you kind of avoid the tax situation, right?
Yeah, because it's a donation, Tony. Yeah, so they're getting something.
I think technically we're not supposed to give an amount. I think technically you're supposed to say like with the donation, you get this. I think we've said like anything over this much, you can take an item or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't need insurance, right?
I think we will be the insurance person for the day. I think that we're the event sponsors. So I think that that's going to be on us.
Yeah. And that's part of our overhead. One more little item.
Yeah, and it's what's really cool actually, which I just realized, is that the Fremont Downtown Event Center application, which is going to be different because we're going to do a special event application. However, they do give a link to get a one-day insurance policy.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's really cool that the city has done that homework for us.
They should be paying you for promoting that center, because now I'm like thinking, what event can I do?
It is awesome.
It's
I'm
beautiful.
telling you. We just had our Fremont Education Foundation event there in the stateroom. And the stateroom will hold, if you have round tables, it'll hold 168 people at the round tables, or if you do assembly, it will hold 300 people. So Fong Law just had a ADU, accessory dwelling unit, homeowners kind of fair there for the Tri-City area. And he had 370 people registered. And I'm like, well, how do you do that? You can fit 300 in there, but they knew that they would have a lot of people didn't show, and they did have a lot of people that did not show. But that stateroom
happens. Yeah. People do that at weddings.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really awesome.
That's very cool.
It always
No,
does.
but really, you would think of something like a wedding and people would definitely show up. And there's a term for it, right? In events.
There's a formula for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Sherry, do you know what the term is for no shows? There is a term and there's a formula. I think you can count on like 10% or 8% or something like that of your people who have even paid people, and then something came up, they don't come.
I got to tell you more, but going back about the center, the FEF thing we just had, we had a social hour in the lobby where the food was. Then we had people go into the stateroom for the presentation, and it was set assembly style instead of at tables. When people are at tables eating, this was my big takeaway. They are not listening to you. They're eating and talking and chatting. I was like pinching myself going, I'm talking and they're listening to me. What? Because they weren't at tables with food. And so that is for me was a big look. Have your social hour, have your heavy appetizers or your food out there, and then bring them in to sit down and listen. That was, and then the overhead was like down here.
Yeah, we had, so at our gala that we had in April, I found that was an issue. even during our fund a need. And I don't know, Kathy and Lisa, you were there. I don't know if you noticed, but our auctioneer went over to the table. There was someone who was on Instagram, I think, someone who was FaceTiming, and she called them out. She put them on blast. And later on, I said, you know what, Zan, you just ran with it, and I'm fine with it, because I'm just kind of had it with how people are. Kathy, I'll need to look into the event center maybe. We've already booked Casa Bella Event Center for next spring, but as long as, so are there limitations with music, like in the evening? Because there's residential around there.
I don't believe so, but they're not going to maybe go so late. I don't know what their hours are, but they're not going to go so late. But really having that appetizer and not sitting down at dinner really just was a whole different format that was just fabulous.
Yeah,
I've been at events when there's like a senator speaking or something, and people are not listening, and I'm embarrassed.
Right?
It's like.
Hey, before we end here, just because we were talking about money before, our plan is to have a Google Docs form for people to sign up. And I'm going to set up an online payment on our website. So you can submit the form, then you're going to have to go over there and pay. And we're kind of doing this two-step thing in case some people apply and it turns out they're not a good fit, or we don't think they should be there and we don't want them to pay. Right?
Well, like if it's a political thing, we don't want them there.
Right. So we're doing obviously all of you guys were going to approve. But the plan was to do it online with a credit card. I'm setting up a Stripe account. And so if anybody has an issue with paying online and would rather send us a check, we'll deal with that. We'll figure out how to do it.
I'm going to be setting up the Google form, and there will be a spot there to add in your activity, like what you're going to do. So if possible, have that already figured out.
That's the hardest thing for me.
If possible, right? Because we want to make sure that not everybody's doing the same thing. So, if you don't know, we'll kind of be back in touch with you to make sure that we, you let us know soon enough.
We also did I looked at some things online. You can buy like little bubble things or, stuff.
Now, I was thinking bubbles too. Now you said we can't all do bubbles. So like more bubbles, the better, right?
I was in charge of party favors for my grandson's birthday, and I found these great little mini bubble things.
Oh yeah.
Those are easy, and you can give them to every kid there, and they'll be running around doing bubbles, and it'll keep them busy for a few minutes. So we thought we'd try a couple of things.
I talked to somebody from our San Diego chapter that I know does a lot of big, family event things. And I asked her, and some of the things she had the kids do, it was like, you're coloring in something, but it was like a Brady thing. And I thought, I want these kids. I'm just thinking that I'm going to make up something that's just like my favorite, I love this just kind of because I want to talk to the parents about what they can do to reduce gun violence, but I don't want the kids to think about it anymore. The poor kids, anyway.
Yes.
And a lot of our topics are like that. I mean,
you could even have a thing out there where you do a poster of a peaceful message, a peaceful picture.
Yeah. Just as I said, I just want to do something the kids can do that's positive.
I mean, it's going to be 4th of July, right? You could do anything around
patriotic.
Yeah.
I was thinking like the little tattoos like we used to do on our faces when we were kids.
I don't know if I have to tell you in advance. I'll keep thinking of things until July 3rd.
Tony, it'd be really cool to do like a giant banner and have like an outline, like you said, the kids could color it in, but that would be also a great like photo spot for them, so people could stand in front of it and take photos. And
just trying to figure out the logistics of where they could do that. That
would be
So years ago, I did an event and it was for SAVE, and it was about I had one of those big, like a flip chart, but it was like you could tear off the paper, and it was an easel, and I had people stop by and they wrote down like what they thought a healthy relationship looked like. And then once they did that, they could enter to win. I had a prize. But even for kids, like if you wanted to have I could loan you an easel, Tony. I mean, you could have something kind of lower to the ground and kids could come up and, I don't know, just sign their name or. I
taught elementary school for many years.
There you go. I'm preaching to the choir. I'll be quiet now. I would say definitely I would say at your table though, definitely bring a couple bottles of hand sanitizer. Everyone's really conscious of that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And that's what
Yeah.
I got, even with the tattoos. I know when I brought them to the parade before, they actually used to put them on people if they wanted to bring a sponge, but now it's like, you can take this home. Do it, yeah.
But I've noticed like the face painting,
SEF, I'm still so COVID conscious
the
that.
face painting has transferred from the face painting to the hand painting
Oh, really?
for those reasons.
But I think those kid tattoos, or whatever they're called, removable tattoos.
Yeah, you could do it on the hand instead of the face if you wanted to keep it a little farther away.
No, it isn't that. It's the process of doing it, because you have to have water stuff. And I just think, they can take them home.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
I have
Well,
one
it
more
is-
question.
Yeah.
Kathy, maybe you can find this out from the 4th of July. Do you know if we'll be able to drive in, those of us that are going to come and set up and park in that parking lot, it's adjacent to the event center, but you get it from State Street?
I believe that from the backside, yes, I believe you will be able to. That sounded like, right, Lisa, that we come in from the backside and
we might want to somehow mark off some parking to make sure that people don't park there for the parade. Right? I mean, however many spots, that we need, a half a dozen or whatever to get people.
Bye, Kayla.
Yeah,
Family
bye.
first.
Bye. Thanks so much.
Thank you
Well,
for joining us.
People know our next meeting is the 22nd at noon. We're going to try a daytime meeting.
Yep. And I think we should, it's at 7:04. We should probably move on. Great stuff tonight, you guys. And let's keep it going.
Can I make a very brief announcement about Better Block?
Yeah.
Sorry, so I'll be very brief. If you haven't heard yet, the Office of Economic Development with the city, we are putting on a 2-day community event all the way out in September 9th and 10th. It is in partnership with an organization called Better Block. And what they do is they partner with cities and activate one street at a time, one better block at a time. And it's a placemaking activity. It is an exercise in seeing what the community wants to see in their neighborhood. And the neighborhood that we're starting with is Mission San Jose, that town center, specifically Ellsworth Street. And it sounds like many of you are in the Fremont area-ish, or are very closely familiar with the community in Fremont. So I would love to pass along a community survey that we are hoping people to fill out. And the deadline is next Thursday, the 10th, or June 9th. And that would give us an idea of what activates a street for you, what makes it friendly, what makes it lively, what keeps it community oriented. Right now, Mission San Jose is an area of interest for folks as far as making it a very thriving commercial center. And we'd like to help kind of bring that idea to life. So I'll drop it in the chat. If you can just take a minute to answer like 9 or 10 questions, I would greatly appreciate it.
I live in Block, I'm excited.
Yeah, she's right there. So that's Fremont,
yeah.
September 9th and 10th.
That's right, September 9th and 10th, but all of the visioning is already starting now.
And I think you guys have it on the Facebook
street.
page.
What was the
too, right?
street? What was the
Ellsworth.
street?
I've shared it. I've shared it on my Facebook, and I think I shared it on the Tri-City Nonprofit Coalition Facebook as well.
Thank you. I've just dropped it in the link. If you scroll to the bottom of that page, you'll see the link to the community survey.
Great.
I've already opened it. Yeah, people have a lot of opinions. I've lived in this neighborhood since 91. Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen it change and ebb and flow and continue to change.
Yeah, Lisa, you've been here longer, and Sherry, you too. So.
Oh, I've been here since 1980. One time.
There you go.
I've been here since 1960, no, 60, maybe 70. But I taught here even before that, so I'm really old.
Ellsworth, there's so much potential there, but it's just, getting a consensus on. You're never going to make everyone happy, but
that's true too. Yeah.
I would love to see a small green space. I mean, I know we've got the Mission Park, but just to have something close by, like to walk to, right?
Yes.
Okay, I have put some other notes, additional notes in our document, and we so appreciate you guys all being here tonight. And I do anticipate we'll have additional nonprofits. If you work with someone else, a colleague that you would say, hey, come join us, please share this.
Yep. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you in a couple weeks.
Thank you for joining, Nikki.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
The meeting that you mentioned, is that going to be about the 4th of July again, the daytime meeting?
Yes, it'll be about this event.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
You know, last planning meeting.
Thank you.